You are cordially invited to attend High Tea with the Metal Duchess, brought to you proudly by PureGrainAudio. We'll be sipping on the finest teas with South Africa's finest bands and getting to know them and their music. But just like everything in life, there's always a twist. Seeing as this is high tea, guests will be required to be on their best behavior. The lady's maid has given them a lesson in proper high tea etiquette, and should they break decorum, we will make them pay for their sins. Don't worry, their hard-earned money will go to charity. And while the Duchess is away on said charity events, the lady's maid will take the reins and entertain our guests with a challenge or two in our parlour games. Welcome to High Tea, the Metal Duchess's way.
So I just went for tea with Meghan Markle, and I saw their offspring. But then I got excited because Chaos Doctrine came over for tea. Hello, Chaos Doctrine. Welcome to High Tea with the Metal Duchess.
Hello, Metal Duchess.
So please introduce yourselves. We'll start with you.
I'm Dr. D, vocalist for Chaos Doctrine.
Lord Alec, guitar.
Mr. Margo, drums.
I'm Phil, bass and backing vocals.
Please tell me about Chaos Doctrine.
We hail from Johannesburg. We play industrial metal, tinge of death, a lot of thrash, with a big layer of industrial rock on top.
Is industrial metal big in South Africa?
I think we're the only ones, eh? We're not.
Yeah.
But,
From Joburg, most definitely.
yeah.
Countrywide, I'd probably assume Terminatrix.
Terminatrix.
Yeah.
Why do you think it's not so popular in South Africa?
If I had to take a guess, I would just say because it's so much work. You know, a normal band writes a song, couple of riffs, drum beat, bass line, vocals. Chaos Doctrine writes a song, couple of riffs, drum beat, vocals, bass. What sampling and loops do we need for this? What is this going to look like live? What about this part? What about that part? Alex solo a little bit less so we can squeeze a bit of industrial in there. I also think, I don't know, maybe there's a bit of a misconception about industrial. Industrial worldwide is pretty big if you think about bands like Ministry. But there aren't that many of them arising anymore.
So have you ever played a show with Terminatrix? And if so, are there any plans to play a show with Terminatrix since you're in the same genre?
Well, Terminatrix are in Cape Town, and we haven't played Cape Town yet. Definitely something to consider.
They are coming up to Johannesburg for a show soon.
Yeah.
The Sirens of it.
Yeah.
So tell me a bit about the band. You guys have been going forever, in metal years, of course.
Yeah.
How has it progressed? How has the scene progressed? How has your music actually progressed?
Chaos Doctrine started in roughly 2010, 2011, the Subhuman Race. We changed our name to Chaos Doctrine. We had another guitarist at that stage who was an old friend of ours, and he moved to New Zealand. So we were in the market for guitarists. I phoned 3 people, and 3 people gave me the same name, and that was Lord Alex Surridge. So we got him over. He said, okay, fine, let's do this. So we're doing this. So Ralph was our founding drummer, and he left, he went to the coast, and he came back a couple of years later. So how the scene has gone, I think it's gone through the same ups and downs that it's gone through in my entire lifetime. I think it's at a lower end now than I've seen. I started playing gigs in 96, 97, where 100 people was a small show. And at the moment, yeah, I think it's a bit lower than
Lucky to hit 50.
Yeah, the 90s, even 2000s were actually pretty good in Cape Town. We had some very good bands and some very good following. So much so that, it got our band at that stage, it got us to play Wacken. Yeah, I mean, they're very good bands, VOD and such. We used to gig quite a bit with them. PARLOUR, some very amazing bands down in Cape Town at that stage. Coming to Joburg was a bit of a thing because Johannesburg has a sort of a different stigma and a different vibe to how it operates. But once you're gigging here, it's pretty good. It has gone down for us, definitely. For a lot of bands, in fact, it's gone down.
I started playing gigs in the early 90s, and I guess all the way through the 90s it wasn't that hard to pack out a venue like Roxy's. I was in Sacrifice and Tyburn, and on a Saturday night you could fill that place up with 2 or 3 really, really good bands. And I think as the years have gone by, I think people are just becoming a bit complacent, and they're just, I don't know, you definitely don't get as many people at shows anymore. I think people have internet and people have Netflix. It's just easier to Netflix and chill than go watch a show. I mean,
maybe another problem in our scene is the whole festival culture that we've got going on here. if I get to see 20 bands for 100 Rand, why am I going to pay 100 Rand for 3 bands or 50 Rand for 3 bands? Why would I go watch 3 bands next weekend if I can wait 2 weekends and see 20 bands? And that's maybe something we need to think about as a collective scene. I think maybe at some point the metal bands in this country need to talk to each other a little bit and say, hey guys, you know what, maybe we need to handle this like a strategic business. And I mean, not to take the fun out of it, but just say, what can we do to make this more attractive for people? Because none of us like to carry this mic stand and all that gear for our girlfriends and the barman, you know what I mean? Or the other bands. I mean, I like playing for Carlos, but, you know, he's seen us a couple of times.
So Carlos is from Deadline. Let's talk about the mic stand. How and why?
I think there's two reasons behind the stand. Firstly, because it's industrial, we play industrial. I've always wanted my own custom mic stand. So HR Geiger is dead, so we couldn't get hold of him. And I was surfing Facebook like we do on weekends. And there's this guy in Cape Town called Steel Punk Designs, and he was making lamps and all kinds of stuff from bike parts and castaway metal. So we had a quick conversation, and 5 minutes later I booked a mic stand. So it came in via the mail. It weighs about, 2,000 kilograms or something. So if there's any roadies out there that would like to...
there. You said it came via the mail.
Yeah. Not airmail, not like, envelope.
I would hope not.
No, it came from Cape Town via CORREIA, obviously. Yeah, anyway, so if there's anyone out there who would like to be my roadie, vocalists usually don't have roadies, but I would like one just to help me.
They don't normally carry anything.
Yes, I mean, just carry a microphone.
Except guilt.
Just
and shame.
Shame for life decisions.
Speaking of roadie, you have an advertisement on your social media, so anybody who's watching this, go to Chaos Doctrine's social media. They are currently looking for a roadie.
A sophisticated roadie.
A sophisticated roadie.
Technical crew, not just carrying stuff.
Preferably a sir or a lord.
Preferably a sir or lord.
With
and
good
not
lower
being
back strength.
sexist. So how has the search been going so far? Have you had anybody come forward?
Have we?
I did put something in my mind.
That, I'm pretty sure, is a rand.
That is a
Speaking
rand.
with your multiple, sir.
We will have to.
We have our first rand.
There you go. We have our bouncer.
There you go, doctor.
We are paying forward.
Take my silver.
Take my silver. So we haven't had anyone come forward yet, but we're still looking. It's also, Facebook advertising rules, etc. Those things are interesting. So we are keeping a look at. Ideally, it would be somebody who's into metal, who's into us. Somebody young who wants to learn a lot of stuff. Alec works in audio tech, and somebody can learn a lot from him. If we could just clone Alec, it would be perfect, because he'd be the perfect sound manager, sound engineer, everything while we're on stage. But he has to be up there with us, which is quite a problem.
You just put out a new EP.
Yep.
Tell us more.
The EP is a couple of tracks from the album that we put out. Took the thought process of either adding in more elements or taking out some elements from the original track. So let's say one of the tracks would have had quite a bit of sampling in it. We thought, let's strip it bare and have it as a straightforward metal song, let's say. Or another one would purely be more industrial based, even more so than the original. That was the process of actually trying to find the right songs, work them out. I think there's a song on there in Afrikaans as well. Yeah, so with alternate lyrics, changing it up, just keeping people interested, trying something new, because these steps help us with the next album, which we're already working towards.
What's coming up next in Chaos Doctrine's world?
We're focusing on recording now. We've got about 4 or 5 songs done.
Various stages of completion.
Some strong songs, I think. Very excited about that.
We're busy with a little international collaboration that will blow a couple of old school metalheads'
Ooh,
brains
do you want
out
to
of.
spill the tea?
Spill the tea.
The stage.
Not literally, please.
We'll just say it's an interesting character from Europe. So that will come out in the next couple of months. We're really thinking about getting newer, fresher sounds, obviously always keeping the industrial, trying to keep it interesting, but also exploring other parts of metal that we haven't, like with our track The Right. We went deep into Stoner Valley with that thing. And with Stoner Valley, I mean the stoner kind of metal sound that was Black Sabbath in the 70s. And we slapped some death metal and industrial on top of it, because that's what we do. All right?
That was awfully close there.
I know.
Awfully close.
I was going to say far. My mom's going to be so proud. No naughty words.
And I noticed you still do hard copies,
Yeah.
and people still buy them.
Yeah. To be honest with you, I make physical copies because I want one, and I know my band wants ones. I've got them on a shelf.
We're all
in my house.
collectors.
And every now and then somebody wants one, that's cool. And we like to give them away because we want people to enjoy our music.
So being in the scene for so long, what is the one piece of advice you give to an up-and-coming band starting in their mother's garage today?
Oldie?
Never give up, I guess.
You want to create music that you love because, you know, Tony Iommi's been playing Paranoid since 1969 and only because he loves that song. And you want to get a view from people outside there of what your music is like. So is your music good enough to be put out there? So we are our worst critics. When, you know, it's a bit scary pitching up and playing a riff and telling these guys, what do you think? Because you think if someone's going to go, that's crap. And that's what you need in a band. So because if you don't criticize your own music, how can you? I said crap. Crap's not a swear word. Apparently it is.
It is.
Anyway, I think I finished my sentence. Ooh, breakage fee.
Any last words, Chaos Doctrine?
After doing this, we're playing band for about 26 years now. Just try and keep it interesting. Whatever you do, just keep trying to have fun somehow. At the end of the day, that's you in an old age home thinking back on the cool times you had. You know?
Yeah.
So that's me.
I'll add. And if you're really into Chaos Doctrine, you really want to help us get our name out there, we've got a group on Facebook called Chaos Disciples. Look that up, put a joiner request in, and have a conversation with us. We do pre-releases there. Everything we do goes on there first. There's stuff on there that only those people get to see, mostly because we don't think the general public should see it. We keep it interesting, we keep it fun. That's also a nice forum for people to connect with us, talk about our personal lives, which people they know.
Thank you very much, Chaos Doctrine.
Thank you
Thank
for having
you.
us.
Metal Duchess.
Hello and welcome back. Unfortunately, the Metal Duchess has had to leave so that she can have a dress fitting for our ball tonight. So while she is away, I've asked the boys from Chaos Doctrine to help me with napkin folding. So I presented the boys with a variety of napkins and some cutlery. And what they have to do is they have to do to the napkin folding, which would hold said cutlery. So boys, you have to make sure that the cutlery can stay in the napkin, but it has to look fancy for it is a ball tonight. So you have exactly 3 minutes to impress me with what you can come up with.
Right.
Everyone ready?
Yeah.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, start.
I have a hair appointment, so I have to do this quickly.
You're not getting your ball gown sorted.
Yeah. No, my ball gown is sorted, it's being pressed. I will be dressing as Rasputin. There you go. 1, 2, 3, go.
Okay,
You win.
I see some very fancy looking things going on here.
Alec is making devil horns, I like it.
Let's
Is
see.
there a rule against collaboration and helping? No.
No,
What do you want to do with it?
I don't know.
I'm just doing
Let's
it.
Put it in
figure it
there.
out.
So it pokes up in a
Yeah.
triangle.
Something.
Diaper.
Diaper.
That looks red. That looks red.
that's actually
Hide the
very
green.
impressive.
Hide the green.
Yeah, now we're talking.
Okay,
Now
no,
it's
no
devil
features.
That's devil horns. Sort of.
So somebody in the ballroom is going to be having 2 sets of cutlery.
It's a close couple.
It's probably the easiest. So, like,
We can put a candle there for now.
yes, there we go. That
I like it.
completely something other.
Alright, so is everyone finished?
It does appear that way. I ruined mine by helping Alec. It happens often.
Alright, so time is up.
Spiritual.
Fingers away, hands away. Alright, so let's take a look over here then, shall we? So I see we've got a couple of the rolled up version, which is very diner-esque, I must say. Not
Yeah.
very ball etiquette, I'm afraid.
No,
And also you've unfortunately defolded there,
I should probably be
which
Should have
wouldn't
weighed
be
down
acceptable
yeah.
for a ball for the Metal Duchess. So I see we have an attempt here. The candle fell away, I'm afraid. So just explain to me what you were trying to do here.
Probably trying to make it as quick and easy to flip open and get to my cutlery.
So you have more tactics you can eat as soon as possible.
That seems to be the way.
And what have we got on the next one here?
Just
I like the teapot after.
folded it up all weird. Well, it keeps moving, so I thought I'll just use this. I can't get it back. Anyway, however it was, weigh it down like that.
I saw it a little bit. So we have a previous shot. And last but not least.
Pretty much of the same, actually.
I mean, it does look much better than the first one.
Yes, actually.
It looks like the cutlery's nicely nuzzled in there, so... Alright, so I think... Who should I go for? I mean, this one is incredibly ambitious, and you actually did something very different from the rest, and I'm pretty sure I've never seen this before at a ball. As for the others, I would say the other one is also very pretty. The other two are very similar, I'm afraid. It's what you would find in a common dining area, which,
So common.
let's face it, the the Metal Duchess would not approve of. We have high standards at this establishment. So,
Common, bro.
I will say I will go for the third one, just because it looks very neat and folded. It's nicely nuzzled in with cutlery. But I want to give a special...
Whoa, you went Ralph.
The prize is here for you.
Thank you
So
very much.
congratulations.
Thank you.
I hope it's a hair product.
Yeah, of course.
Is it a product?
So now you can do the washing up.
I really do. Thank you so much. Thanks.
Thank you very much, and join us next time for the party games.